This is something that won't happen very often. This is a live unboxing video, so if you want to sweep around and see the crowd gathered today, you know, so let's hear some cheers and stuff. Yeah! Live unboxing video. So we'll go back to where you were. I don't know why you're over there. Okay, so we're here at the NVIDIA 3D Vision Surround demo, and I'm going to be unboxing something that I've been meaning to unbox for a while. This is something I first laid eyes on at CES 2011. It is the OCZ ZX series of power supplies, and more specifically, I have the 1250 watt power supply here with me today. So what's special about this? Well, what I think is special about it is that it is one of the most new and interesting power supply lines that's come out of OCZ in a good number of years. They've really refreshed their overall image and their overall feature set. This is a fully modular power supply. It features 80 plus gold efficiency, which means that it's pretty much 90% efficiency, although for whatever reason, the 80 plus organization feels that it would wreck their branding to call something 90 plus, so they don't see the need to call anything that. So it's 80 plus gold. We're going to stick with that. Technical specifications are right here. You can see the length and width, which will be fairly evident once I open the box. You can also see which standards it comes equipped with. It uses a 140 millimeter ball bearing cooling fan, high efficiency, which we've talked about already. It has all of those over voltage, over current, short circuit protections that you would expect to find on any decent power supply, and it features a 100,000 hour mean time between failure rate. Let's go ahead and open this up, and this is also something they've really changed. They are using a completely different kind of packaging for their power supplies, which I've never seen before, but I will struggle with it and I will open it for you. So we have a window where you can see the fan. I have no idea why, come on, why is there a window here? The box doesn't have a window. But that's okay, because as long as it's a good product, it can come in the most fail possible box and I won't care. We find inside here, probably modular cables. As I mentioned, it is a fully modular power supply, so there's going to be a lot of modular cables. This probably weighs about 2 pounds, so let's just dump that out. There we are. Lots of color-coded cables in there. We're going to have to take those apart. Ooh, look at this. It comes with an 80 plus gold certificate. So normally when I say that a power supply is 80 plus gold certified, it doesn't actually come with a certificate, but this one does, so there you go. All right, we've also got a manual. Neat. And then finally, we've got probably some screws and cable ties and power cord. Oh yeah. You can tell I've unboxed a power supply before. So here's some OCZ Velcro cable ties. Big fan of these. I still have some from my original PowerStream power supply. They're the ones that I use to tie back the cables on my test bench. Comes with 4 thumb screws to mount the power supply in your case, as well as a nice thick power cable that uses a standard interface. Some of the higher wattage units use that funky one that you're not bound to have a spare handy if you need one and you left it at work and you need the power supply to be functional at home and you don't have one and you can't run your test bench. So yeah, that's never happened to me before. Actually, it has. All right, power supply itself. So let's start with the power supply. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we've got a 140 millimeter ball bearing fan doing the cooling on here. You can tell it uses a fairly standard 7-blade design. I mean, my expectation is it'd be fairly quiet, and the reality is it's not going to have to work very hard, because even a 1250 watt power supply, when you're talking 80 plus gold certification, is very efficient and is not going to kick out a whole ton of excess heat. On the side, you find what some people might find gaudy, but personally I think is quite tasteful. A black, gold, and silver color scheme. I love this. A lot of the 80 plus gold units are doing this, where they put a little bit of gold accenting on it. I think it's great. You also find it upside down on the other side. There's a very good reason for that, because when it's installed in your case, it will be up right side up regardless of which way you install it. So those sides are both identical. Here you will find the general specifications. You can see this is a single rail 12 volt power supply. So that is a 104 amp 12 volt rail. It's a good thing it has all of those industrial protections on it, because if it didn't have overcurrent protection as well as short circuit protection, you could be frying some pretty serious hardware that you have hooked up to a power supply of this testicular fortitude. So here we go. Let's have a look at our first modular cable here. This is the ATX power cable. I'm just going to go ahead and plug that in. 24 pins, although you can split away the last 4 pins if you're actually still powering a 20-pin motherboard with a 1250 watt power supply. We've got a couple of extra capacitors here that are covered by heat shrink tubing, so those are presumably to do something to help it deliver better power. I should certainly hope so. Next, let's have a look at what we got for PCIe. So these are all color-coded gray. we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is an odd number, so there must be 6. We have 6 PCI Express 8-pin connectors. Oh, that's interesting. Note, these are all 6 plus 2. So you can see the one end, and I'm just going to unwrap one of them so you can see the general length. We have dedicated plugs for all of these, so you can plug in as many as you see fit. Here is about the length of the cable, is approximately 0.9 of a Linus arm. So there's your 6 plus 2. There's your interface. That's all pretty straightforward. Let's see what we've got for SATA cables. So this harness has 3 SATA cables on it. You can see that it uses these slim peripheral /IDE /SATA connectors right there. I'm going to show you the length of that one as well before we wrap this unboxing up. Actually, you never wrap an unboxing up, you more unbox it. So anyway, that's the length of that. What else have we got? So total SATA cables included, there's another 3, there's another 3, and I'm expecting to find probably one more of those. There's another 3. So you can hook up a total of 12 SATA drives natively to this power supply without any adapters. Finally, we have 3 Molex, and then a 3 Molex with a floppy connector at the end, just in case you actually still own something that uses a floppy power connector. I'm going to show you the length of that one. So this is well over a Linus arm. It's a Linus arm, an armpit, and then half of a torso. Finally, last but not least, we have our 8-pin and probably a 4 plus 4 pin. There it is. An 8-pin and a 4 plus 4 pin EPS connector. These look a little on the short side. You can see they're actually, ooh, this is neat. They're clearly labeled PSU and CPU, so you know which end goes where. You may need an extension cable to get this up to the top if you have a bottom-mounted power supply and you have a case that doesn't have a very direct route to the top of your motherboard, so bear that in mind. Extension cables are cheap. You can get the NZXT individually sleeved ones for just a couple bucks, so that's probably a solution I'd recommend. Thank you for checking out my unboxing today of the 80 Plus certified, including certificate, OCZ ZX1250 power supply. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.
Linus pose.